YouTube, what's good, guys? It's your boy T, and I'm back again with another video for Fantasy Good Sports, guys. And today's video is going to be on the waiver wire for Week 8. Yes, guys, the waiver wire for Week 8. So listen, I'm going to go over these lists. I don't want to extend this video out too long, so I'm not going to do a breakdown on players. I'm going to use that for my live. I'll probably be going live Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, guys. So let's, with no further ado, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Also, guys, go sign up for my OnlyFans, where, like I said, I do very personable stuff on there, where it's nothing weird, just where I can rate your team, give you trade targets, whatever you need, make a personalized video for you. Whatever you need, guys, it's just $10 a month. So make sure you sign up. So let's get started. So let's start off with the running backs. We all like the running backs, right? So I'm not going to waste time. And the first one, if these guys are not on your waivers, then, like I said, you move now. But the first one is D'Onta Foreman. You got to go get him. So spend, I'm not saying spend all your fab, but spend like a high amount of fab for a running back. That's the starter. And he is, even though Trooper's getting work, so you can go out to Trooper too. You can play any one of these guys. I'm not saying this is a high-end running back, but D'Onta Foreman is the guy that I want on the team. And he could go out and dud you next week. But like I said, this is the waiver wire. So who are you going to spend your fab on? D'Onta Foreman is worth it. Next is Gus Edwards. He shouldn't be out there on your waivers, but even if he is, you go get him and you spend everything on him. I feel safer now. D'Onta might be a little bit, I don't know. I'm not saying he's going to be more talented, but Gus Edwards on a better offense, a great run offense. Any running back that's played with Lamar Jackson has always had a decent output, right? I'm talking about bottom of the barrel running backs. They still have a decent output. So with Gus Edwards being there and looking good off the knee injury, guys, spend that waiver priority and get him and squeeze him in there and run him out there every week that he's healthy. Next is Michael Carter. Now, this is the guy for the week. Breach Hall went down. Breach, hey, you was doing great, bro. You was about to wreck the league. You probably going to go for 1,500, 1,600 with 700, 800 yards receiving. I said what I said. Like, I got to stand correct. Like, I'm not saying, I thought Michael Carter is a better pass catching back, but that don't mean, like, Nyheim Hines a better pass catching back than Jonathan Taylor, but that don't mean he's better, right? So I had to stand corrected here. I thought Michael Carter would be used a little bit more than he wasn't, so Breach Hall was about to go off. But now that Breach Hall went down with the knee injury, Michael Carter is a high priority guy. This is another, when I spent all my waiver priority, I'd probably spend just as much as I would if Gus Edwards was out there. Like, you got to get this guy. Like, nobody else is taking his care. Will he get all 100% of the work? No, they might use Todd Johnson. I just want to let y'all know that. Todd Johnson isn't the guy on this video, too. But, and I'm giving you a little bit of my bonus guys. So, guys, if you watch the whole video, I got 2 bonus guys for you. But Michael Carter is, guys, an elite running back with Breach Hall going off the injury, where he's going to catch 10 passes a game. That's the only way you use him. You don't give him 20 carries between the tackles like Breach. You get him out in space. And I believe that's what they're going to do with Michael Carter. Moving on. Isaiah Pacheco. If he out there, you got to pick him up. CEH, they said they announced that Pacheco is the starter. That don't mean that we saw this week that CEH still going to get used. But you still have to have Pacheco. So if he on the waivers, you have to pick him up. Spend some waiver priority. Spend a waiver priority on him, or spend some fab on him. I don't think you let anybody get there. So you pick him up. You don't spend a lot. Don't lose a high waiver priority on him. But if you want, I think you need to have this guy on your team. Next is Eno Benjamin. While Connor's out, you need to have Eno. Eno's a great runner between the tackles, so pick up Eno. When Connor comes back, he's still going to get some work, but it won't be all the goal line carries. It would be mostly between the 20s, and Connor will always get goal line when he's healthy. Next is Todd Johnson, like I said earlier. Todd Johnson for the Jets is going to be Michael Carter and Todd Johnson like they did last year. It's going to same breakdown. So Michael Carter should be good in that breakdown role. Next is Tyrion Davis Price from the San Francisco 49ers. Listen, to me, it's Elijah Mitchell and CMC, but Elijah Mitchell hasn't come back yet. Jeff Wilson is there. Tyrion Davis Price had a couple carries, even with Jeff Wilson and CMC being there. So Tyrion Davis Price is a guy to stash, and who knows what can happen. People can get injured, anything can happen. You want to be able to have this guy. So I'm not calling this guy a stash. I'm calling this guy a waiver wire pickup. You don't have to spend a high waiver on him or anything like that. You just can pick him up when he green bean. But I think you need to get him on waivers. I don't think he's just a guy that pick him up Thursday or Friday before a game. Next is get to the wide receivers. The first wide receiver, and then I got 1 bonus guy for you for the wide receivers. Again, guys, watch the whole video. I appreciate it. It helps the video out in the algorithms. But the first is Paris Campbell. He got hyper-targeted 12 targets. Sam Ehlinger, I don't believe he's going to hyper-target him like that. But Paris Campbell, if you want to pick up a wide receiver, like a slot guy for a flex play, I think you can do it. I think you need to wait to see what Sam Ehlinger does first, though. Next is Chris Moore from Houston. With Nico Collins going down, I think Chris Moore will be used a little bit more. So Chris Moore is a nice wide receiver that I think you should pick up. I think the guy's I don't think he's extremely talented, but I think he's okay. He's pretty good. Next is Braxton Berrios, one of my favorite guys that got me to a championship last year. And Braxton Berrios, guys, is going to be like, they're going to be moving him all around, trying to get guys out in space just to help Michael Carter. They don't have Breach Hall no more where they can give the ball to him and let him do what he do. So they're going to be using different guys. So Braxton Berrios, the guy is really kind of like a stash, but I think you need to pick him up this week. You might have to play him bye weeks or up, right? So Braxton Berrios. Next is DeAndre Carter. And the reason why I'm picking about DeAndre Carter because Mike Williams went down with an ankle injury. And it seems like when Mike Williams go down and if Josh Palmer don't play, DeAndre Carter get a lot of targets. Even with Keenan Allen coming back next week after the bye week, I still like DeAndre Carter. I think he's very quick and he gets out. He separates fast, and that's good for quarterbacks. Next is Terence Marshall. And look, this is just a waiver wire pickup for wide receivers. I don't think he's extremely talented, but he did get some targets, so I got to put him in the waiver wire wide receiver video. Terence Marshall from the Carolina Panthers. You can pick him up. And for my bonus guy, guys, I don't know if you heard or not, but Mike Evans might have an injury. So I just want you to go ahead and pick up Russell Gage in case you need him. He should be picked up in most leagues anyway, but if he's not, you should go pick this guy up. And if one of those top receivers are down, Russell Gage is going to get hyper-target. He's already getting targets without these guys being down. So when one of these guys go down and they're not playing that Sunday, then you could have Russell Gage, and I think he'll be a fine replacement. All right, guys, let's move on to the quarterbacks. Yes, the quarterbacks. And the first quarterback is, and remember, it's not a lot of quarterbacks on waivers, guys. So I'm giving you some dart shoots. And the first one is Malik Willis. Malik Willis is talented, and I know Ryan Tannehill had an ankle injury. I'm not saying Ryan is going to set, but if he did, you had Malik Willis with a lot of rushing upside. Next is Sam Ehlinger. I think Sam Ehlinger has great rushing upside. He ran a lot in college. So I think this guy could be sneaky athletic and win a game or two, right? So I just want y'all to know. So Sam Ehlinger, I'm picking him up. So that's I'm not saying he's my favorite guy, but I'm picking him up in a couple leagues where I'm streaming quarterbacks. Sam Ehlinger, I like that rushing upside that he has, especially with those weapons. So he can run around and throw it to Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman. I think that's okay. And run it with Derrick Henry, with Jonathan Taylor. So when he do the QB choice with Jonathan Taylor, with that guy running ability, the team's going to have to think about that. With Jonathan Taylor, they don't have to think about no athletic quarterback running because Matt Ryan's not running. But Sam Ehlinger can. So I like playing Jonathan Taylor and Sam Ehlinger together just to see what happened. All right, next is Sam Howell. Sam Howell just a guy in case they bench Taylor Heineke. Maybe they don't want to go back to Carson Wentz. So Sam Howell is just a guy that they might roll out there as the season go on just to find out what they got. Next is Desmond Ridder. Now, Marcus Mariota has some good games, especially with his rushing upside, but he might have a good season as a quarterback that's rebounding, but then they might set him and say, well, we need to find out what Desmond is before we go in and try to pick a quarterback next year in next year's draft. So, Marcus, you might be part of the plan and compete with the position, but we're going to set you down the last 2 weeks just to see what we got with Desmond Ridder, and that could happen. And I think that's going to help Kyle Pitts and Drake London, but I'm not saying it's going to happen early, but I think that has a possibility. So now you can pick these guys up on the waiver and be ahead of the curve. And last but not least, guys, is Ben Zappe. If Matt Jones who from the New England Patriots, if he don't play good, Bill Belichick will sit him and play Ben Zappe. You know, Bill don't got no he fainted hard. So I think he's going to try to squeeze Matt Jones because he don't want his confidence to be down. But if Matt Jones come out and have 2 bad games, Ben Zappe, here he come. So, all right, guys, let's move on to the tight end. And this is our last position, guys. And the first tight end that I think you should be picking up is Cade Otton. Yes, Cade Otton. If he's out there, you pick him up. There's no tight end there. Cameron Brake went out with a concussion. So Cade Otton is getting all the tight end targets. Next is Isaiah Likely. Mark Andrews has had a knee injury, and he didn't get a lot of targets. And there's probably something wrong with his knee. Maybe he could get through it this week. They just want him out there for a decoy. But if he missed 2 to 3 weeks, you got the next tight end, Isaiah Likely. Next is Foster Moreau. Darren Waller hasn't played in the last 2 weeks, so Foster Moreau is a guy that's going to get targets. I think he only had a few points this week, but again, this is the waiver wire video. So if Darren Waller's not playing and you need to roll some type of tight end out there that's going to get some type of targets, it's going to be Foster Moreau. Next is one of my favorite guys is Greg Dortch from the Denver Broncos. I think this guy's going to be okay. I think he's going to get better and better. I think these weapons are going to be okay if they move on for Russell and let him sit for a while. And if he still goes out there next week, I might play Greg Dodgers, I might not. But if Russell sits for 2 to 3 weeks, I'm fine with playing these guys with Brett Rippon because it's going to be timing. It's not about that Brett Rippon is a great quarterback. It's all about timing. And I think these guys will play better and have better numbers for you with timing. Next, we got 2 more guys, and I got 1 bonus with tight end for you. Next is Juwan Johnson from the New Orleans Saints. And listen, with Taysom Hill playing all types of positions, Juwan Johnson's going to be out there. Now, I know that they haven't had Michael Thomas and Chris Olave's been out of 1 game, and Jarvis Landry's been out. But even within, they still know that Juwan Johnson, they've been holding on to him for a while now, for about 3 years. They know he's a good talent. He's tall. He played wide receiver in college. He's a big guy. So I think this guy can get out in space and help your team. So pick him up, too, because he had a really good week. I think he was like tight end 1 or 2, right? Maybe been 2 to Travis Kelce, or 3 to George Kittle and Kelce. And last but not least is Tommy Tremble. Listen, I didn't want to touch on Tommy Tremble with the coaches there that was there for Carolina Panthers, the head coach. I can't think of his name right now. Hit me in the comment section and let me know. But I can't think of his name, but he wasn't going to use Tommy. But with this new coach in there, Steve Wilks, Tommy might get used. So I just want to tell you about that. Tommy might be a tight end that you can go to and might get a few more uptick in targets. So guys, thank y'all for tuning in to Fantasy Good Sports. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This is cutting edge content. Also, guys, go sign up for my OnlyFans. And there, guys, like I said, if you need consultations, you need me to rate your team, you need me to make a personal video, you just want to chop it up with me, whatever you need, you want to show support to the channel, that's how you do it. There's nothing weird going over there. That's a different platform, just like Patreon. So y'all guys be safe. Peace.